number one, from where is it located? Like, if anybody doesn't know, there's a brownfield site across the freaking street from this farm field.
Yes.
That it is monstrously large in comparison to the 15 acres. There is a former brownfield registered site across the street from this. Nobody's gonna build a freaking house across the street from this thing, period.
Well, what are they gonna do? Because that's probably a super fund, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
So.
It's up for auction right now if you
Yeah, I
wanna
know
buy
that,
it.
and they start putting stuff all on it and everything, and the next thing you know, they contaminated our ground.
The brownfield site is completely separate from this 32 acre piece.
It's the old dump. Okay, hold on, Irene's got a question.
Okay, you're talking about Collins.
Somebody, excuse me 1 second, somebody have their phone on, or, somebody talk? We close shut our
I
phones
think
off.
they're outside, it's the window.
Well, close the windows, it's
Open the door, it's hot. Anyways, the question I have, you're talking about contacting the county board and will Blaine recuse himself since he's our county supervisor?
Yeah.
That's a conflict of interest.
a question we can't answer for you.
No, but he's
Because
my
my name's not Blaine Paul.
He told us he would.
You wanna comment?
He told us he would.
I would fully expect it to.
I would too, but you never know.
He is recusing himself.
And he's not manipulating his buddies on the board? That's
We
that's.
can't respond to that, we can't comment on that. We're not Blaine, we don't know what he's thinking. This is my personal opinion, I find it interesting that it's, when you're talking about tax generation, that it's far easier to put a solar farm up than to subdivide and build new homes that actually generate significant tax revenue for the community in this county. So that's my 15-second political statement.
I have a question for One's Energy. Last time it was brought up about, once this is approved, if it's approved, that you will set up an escrow to have money set aside if it needs to be taken down or there's damage. When does that go into effect, and how can we be assured that, and when you say you're going to recycle, I mean, these turbines, they can be recycled because of the product that they're made out of. What do you do with these products?
So the first question is about having a financial security to ensure that the project is decommissioned appropriately at the end of its useful life. And that is part of county requirements prior to issuing a zoning permit. So before we can commence construction, we need to have a third-party engineer put together a decommissioning cost analysis showing cost of removal, salvage value of the equipment, and then that goes into establishing that so that all happens prior to commencing construction. Long term, if the project is ultimately sold to the incumbent utility, remember there's two ways for a project like this to happen. They can either sell all the electricity from the project to the incumbent utility, or sell the project itself to the incumbent utility. And that's just how the state policy works. It's not our decision. If it were to be sold to the incumbent utility, they're regulated by the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin. They have rules for decommissioning, setting decommissioning costs aside. There's a line item on their annual report.
That's if it's sold.
Correct. This project will not be constructed unless we have commercial certainty. This is not speculative, completely irrespective of permitting. The project will not get constructed unless there's commercial certainty on the outcome of that, either electricity sale or asset purchase. We've only sold the asset in the energy's territory. So to give you, that's what we predict will happen, but the permitting process is a requirement prior to getting that commercial certainty.
What percent of your projects are sold to the energy or to the electrical utility?
I don't do math in public, but that's a great question. Let's see, I think we've got about 22 projects that we anticipate owning long-term, that we anticipate constructing in the next 2 years. I'm sorry, the next year. And then, but none for we energies.
Meaning they sell them.
Somebody got a question in the back, Jim?
If that money is gonna be escrowed to replace what could be damaged for whatever, until the insurance company pays off, is that money escrowed at the time that you sign the contract to proceed with it? Or is it done later? And my second question is, would it be bonded so that that money is guaranteed with a bond?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, I'll give you an example. Just like the municipality we're sitting here looking at, if they go ahead and they take out a contract to build something, they're required by state law on anything more than, I think it was $2,500, to have a bond to protect it. So that if something turns to shit, that money is already in a bond, ready to pay for it. And if a town attorney does not cover himself, he's liable. That's state law. The question is, how is this protected?
What's the net worth of your company? Net worth.
I don't know. He doesn't do that.
In public. Solar panels are warranted for about 30 years. We expect them to have a useful life longer than that. So the lease is 30 years with 2 10-year options to extend. So it's 30 to 50 years basically.
Julie, going back to my prior question about a contract and an MOU, because we have recommendation power, we don't have approval power. Would the contract that we were discussing be with the county then, or would you do one with us? Let's say the county goes ahead no matter what we say with us. Is the contract for our specific issues with us, or do you do it with the county and that's supposed to cover everything?
In Koshkonong, we had a road agreement with the town, and that was for use of town roads. We did a similar thing in the town of Whitewater. So it's, and you know, we can share like a draft with you. I don't have service right now, but I can email you a draft.
What board?
Actually, we probably want to use our own language for whatever contract we come up with, so.
On the county board, who would we contact since Blaine's our county board guy?
Great question.
Yeah.
29 other of them.
Anyone else?
Well, 29 other
So,
of them.
County
Yeah,
commissioner? County commissioner? I don't know.
One pops in my head, you got George Jacob,
And
who does not like solar panels.
I would also recommend maybe John Kennard,
Yeah.
who is the county rep to our Lake District board. And he's up in Sullivan, so John Kennard, K-I-N-N-A-R-D.
John's a client of mine.
Oh,
so-
so you know, okay.
K.I.
N-N-A-R-D.
I got his number at the moment.
Gentlemen, can I just share one thing? I appreciate that Peter was talking about all of the projects that we do for different utilities in We Energy's utility territory. 100% of the projects that we have done have been sold to utilities. So when we talk about how we're coming to these decisions, they're from years of experience of doing this thing. And so if the utility company, to remind, owns it, they have to post collateral to be able to decommission and remove this product. It's part of state law. So just to put that as clarity, we was talking about all of our projects across the state during the energy.
One more question in One Energy. Someone, and you know, it's all hearsay. If the property that borders this particular possible solar panels, are they able to pay to get it connected to their house? I've heard that.
No, we get to ask that at every single one of these permit hearings. Somebody says, "Can I run an extension cord to the project?"
Well,
And we always say we could, you know, we could do that. But no, but the electricity that it's producing will go to the nearest load. Physically, that is how electricity works.
So are you guys all involved in that Whitewater?
No, no. The town of Whitewater project that I mentioned before is, it's called Springbrook if you wanna, it's on Island Drive. Yeah, it's not, we're not doing the really big projects, we do these small ones that are more well sited, better screened. The one in Koshkonong, you can barely see it from the highway, we've got one in Waterloo, you can barely see it from the freeway. This one, very little visual impact, and I think it's worth clarifying, one of the reasons we didn't nail everybody is because when we walked the site, we looked around, we said, nobody can see this except Blaine's brother's horse farm. So, understanding now that that is now a sore spot, like, you'll get noticed by the county, like Julie said, 2-3 weeks probably before the public hearing for the
Well,
county.
I know
but we're
over at
happy to talk about
Whitewater,
this.
there's a person who puts stuff on the website, and she told me, do they have horses around? But she said there's a problem. She's a eco person,
Okay.
and there's 250 documents I just can't find the time to go through because I gotta harvest and stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm just wondering that, because there are a lot of horses in the area, not right next to it.
yeah, we have livestock on,
Folks, we gotta get moving here.
I'm gonna think that was, I make
Yeah,
seriously,
livestock and horses.
I know. Yeah, I'll stick around.
One question, what does Glenn get out of this?
Please.
What did you get on there?
It's at least $1,000 an acre. What is it?
I can't share.
First off,
I heard it's 20,000 a year, but, that's hearsay.
It's a good sum of money.
I would like to make a motion that we postpone, further discussion and any decision on this until our next, official board meeting while we put together, I agree with Josh's comments about not just approving or denying without a list of, suggestions, recommendations that would go along with it, so it carries weight with the board. So I make a motion that we, postpone discussion and action on this until our next board meeting while we put together a list of, recommendations that would go with whatever final recommendation we would make.
Would that be to October 13th?
October 13th. Second?
I would second that. I would second your motion.
Motion was made to postpone this until we get more information gathered, until October 13th, our next board meeting. Any, seconds been made, any further discussion? All in favor of the postponement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Is there anything you guys would like from us in the meantime? By way of information?
No, but if I think of anything, I'll email Julie.
Like I said when I started, I appreciate you guys emailing, not vigorously, but whatever, being responsive to questions even up until this afternoon, so.
Okay, moving on to number
Thanks
six.
everybody who came to talk about that issue, your comments and opinions are always welcome.
I wanna say the board does a great job,
Well,
whether
thank
you
you.
go for us or not. I was impressed.
Okay, number 6, executive session. This discussion, okay, here, listen up. Executive session, this discussion requires a closed session because it involves confidential strategy related to contract negotiations, and open discussion could adversely affect the town's position. Entering into closed session under this exemption is necessary to preserve negotiation strategy. We'd like to adjourn to closed session, not to reconvene pursuant to chapter 19.85, paragraph 1, sub E of the Wisconsin statutes, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Item to be discussed, negotiation of town's fire EMS contract. I need a motion.
I make a motion, we go into closed session.
Second.
Motion's made to go into closed session, and a second, and we need a roll call vote.
Gajewski,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Sawyer.
Aye. Thank you, folks, take all phones, packages.
That was a quick
Here.
visit.
So,
Cordell with you.
No, leave the courtroom here.
Oh, yeah, leave the Corbell.